Brandon Hapa.
Yes, sir.
Senior instructor, TACFIT senior instructor.
Yes, sir.
Man, so cool to always hang out with you. So glad you came down for the TACFIT team up event that Quebrado's hosting at TACFIT Eagle Rock. We did a podcast. It was on Zoom, right, during the pandemic times, you know. So
yes,
I wanted to seize the moment and hang out with you in person. Totally different for me.
In person is back.
Experience, yeah. So thanks, man, for making the time.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you always for your friendship, your support. And so glad to be able to hang out with you and talk.
Feelings mutual. Very likewise, sir.
Yeah. From Strong First to TACFIT to Capoeira to, Bodywork, right?
Bodywork, yes.
So what are some of the things you have on your resume?
Let me take a breath. TACFIT senior instructor.
Dad.
Oh, dad. Soon to be dad of 3, coming December. Bodyworker, martial artist. TACFIT senior instructor, FlowFit, Club Bell, Viking Ninja, level 1 certified, TACFIT level 2 certified. Certified level 3 under the Morales method, Bodywork, Academy of Structural Integration. It's sort of a specialized platform of bodywork. And purple belt, Nogi Jiu-Jitsu, 10 Planet Oakland. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, Capoeira, I'm a graduated blue belt under Mestre Kuta, United Capoeira Association. Plans go accordingly. Me and 4 of my other classmates, we're going to be graduating to professor. Next year, we're going to have a formatura. If all things go as planned. So that's a few things to look forward to next year. Baby, graduating, capoeira, and whatever else life is going to throw at me at this point, you know. Everything's on the table. You know, I'm an open book, so let it rip.
Yeah, how'd you get into this whole movement and body work? What attracted you to doing this kind of
Martial arts.
Martial arts.
Martial arts, yeah. My first sort of love was breakdancing, you know, of course.
Breakdancing.
Yeah, I wanted to dance. I wanted to move. I wanted to do all these cool moves that people were doing on what were VHS tapes back then. We didn't have YouTube. And pretty much I saw a kid at lunch doing capoeira in the field and immediately was drawn to him, said, you know, what is that? What's going on? Where can I do that? And the guy ended up being one of my sort of classmates and a really good friend. And he's really, really good. He was like before his time good. Unfortunately, he stopped. But so that was my introduction. And then along came the movie Only the Strong. Yeah, I think almost every capoeirista I know saw that movie and was like, I want to do that.
Only the Strong.
Only the Strong.
I've never seen it.
Cascos.
Okay.
Mestre Amin, all the people from LA, the Capoeira Batuque people,
okay,
were in that video.
Okay.
And it's, I think, late 90s, early 90s.
Okay. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Only the Strong.
Only the Strong.
All right.
Mark Dacascos. Legendary, iconic. So I saw that movie and immediately tried to figure out where I could do it. And at the time I was in second year junior college and I was on the judo team and I saw a flyer for capoeira around the school and I went and I never turned back. And one of the sort of stipulations that my first capoeira instructor had for me was I wanted you to get into some sort of, you know, kinesiology, something to have to do with the body so that you could graduate. I want this to be a sort of something that you strive for as a goal for that when you...
Your capoeira teacher?
Yeah. My first capoeira teacher,
Your
yes.
First.
And so I always had that in the back of my head and, you know, going through decades, this year is my 20th year being involved in capoeira. But the first, you know, decade, you know, every day training, you know, 4 to 6 days a week, stretching, strengthening, training. So sort of came along with that was the you know, the want to acquire more knowledge of the body and physiology and how everything worked, why things were happening the way they were within the realm of training. And so I think just randomly I applied for a job at a physical therapist's office after high school. And I began to work with people in that sort of physical therapy environment. I was an assistant. And we also had to do manual therapy for some of their clients. And I just got a little bit of praise from a couple of the clients and said, one in particular was a student at a massage therapy school, which was literally 2 blocks, or not even a block down, 2 spaces down from where I worked. And so he said, you know, you're really good at this. You have an intuitive touch.
Intuitive.
And you should go to the school and, you know, check out what, you know, sort of programs that they have that might be able to fit in your schedule. So I did, and I was able to go there. I went to school after full-time work for about 4 hours each night for about 2 years.
Wow.
So
okay.
It would have took a year if I would have done like the 2 classes that were offered that day, but I had full-time work at the physical therapy office, and then I went right into massage therapy school after. So it was pretty long days. And soon after I graduated, I moved on to a different physical therapy clinic where I was working with a chiropractor, a sports chiro, and a couple of very good physiotherapists. And there I started to build my own business, my own following. I became a strength rehab therapist because of my background in personal training, which is another accolade that I was required to have.
Oh, wow.
Working for the first physical therapist. So I kind of got just heavily just immersed in that whole, those modalities. And I loved it. You know,
what are some of the things that they had you do for the strength part?
You know, I specialize in about 75 to 100% of the regain of the strength. But I did everything from prehab, post-hab, and everything in between. Just kind of, you know, whatever clients the doctor would have me work with. Manual therapy, strength rehab therapy, you know, very sort of some geriatric therapy as well too. So just kind of across the board. And then I kind of took a liking to one of my teachers. It was like a roundabout sort of free-flowing school that I went to, SF School Massage. So there was just teachers every week that were teaching different stuff that was all within the CMT cert. And so I took a liking to one guy, and I decided to, he's a Rolfer, he's an advanced Rolfer.
Oh, wow.
He was actually the gentleman who studied under Jan that we had a conversation with. So
Jan Sultan.
Yeah.
A podcast with him. What an honor, yeah. He was direct student of Ida Rolf.
Yep.
He was the head of the Rolfing Institute for a lot of years. Legend around the world.
Yep. Yes.
Bodywork legend. Like people, like I was in the fascia conference right in Berlin, and these German guys are like, I don't know. I mentioned, you know, Jen Rolf, and they're like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, oh my God, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like everybody seems to know about him.
Very small world, you know, very small subset of circles that
he did Thomas Meyer's first 10 series.
Yeah, that's
that.
insane. Like I had an ear-to-ear grin that whole podcast when I was listening to it, and then I actually forwarded it to my teacher Marty.
Oh wow!
And I said, you know, Marty, my TACFIT mentor, he's interviewing Jan, and you should check it out. And he's like, oh man. And the cool thing was he learned some stuff. Or expanded on some stuff that he had heard, or that story that Jan had told him during their training. And so he had learned some stuff that he didn't know about Jan, or pieces to stories that kind of surfaced when he was talking to you. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
For him to learn from your podcast about his teacher. You know, that's pretty cool.
What an honor, you know, really, to be able to just have the opportunity to. One, I would take my son to go see him, and then just to be able to do a podcast or interview with him, right?
Yeah, that was
cool.
really cool.
It's cool. Small world, right?
It's
too.
Very small world.
Yeah.
I think one of the first couple conversations we had were about you being in Santa Fe and seeing him.
Right.
And then I kind of connected the circles. Like, oh man, it's a very, very small world.
Yeah. So going back to you finished your massage school.
Yeah, finished my massage school. Went to sort of life upgraded to a different facility, different demographic. It was more athletic. It was inside of a big corporate gym.
In San Fran?
Yep.
This time it's in San Francisco.
Yep,
both times.
Both times in San Francisco, yeah. And did a major upgrade. Was working with totally different clientele and like a big corporate gym and lots of athletes. And around that time, in Soma District, South of Market in San Francisco, everything's coming up. Twitter, Airbnb, Zynga, all the tech companies. So we're getting a lot of these people that are broken inside of the clinic. And then all the CrossFit gyms were popping up around that time as well. So we've seen it all. Like I've worked with many, many different people. During the time I was working with the PT, I was also working my own clients. And about my 4th year with the second PT, I started to sort of make the switch to become an independent trainer, because I had many of the skills that they were doing in there in the PT office, and I wanted to sort of get out on my own, become independent, and make my own money and make my own schedule. I had then got recently married and was planning on starting a family, so steps in life that we're progressing. And it was really funny. The first PT office that I worked in was also in a gym, a very small gym, and that was where I got introduced to Nogi Jiu-Jitsu.
Nogi Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, Denny Procopos
right,
had 10 Planet San Francisco inside of that gym.
Oh, wow.
So
did you ever watch UFCs or anything at that time?
Yeah, definitely. Was definitely into UFC.
Because you were into martial arts and you did judo. Like,
yep.
You never wanted to?
I never wanted to fight. For some reason, I never wanted to get in the cage until
not cage, but like I'll just learn jiu-jitsu or something like that.
What's really funny is that like I was happy at the time with capoeira until I started to train Muay Thai, because one of my good friends and his cousin started a gym in Union City, which is around in the area, Roots Kickboxing, and I started going there. Started training with another friend that had been training forever. So, basically privates for a couple of years. And then I started doing classes. And then I started training with Danny at 10 Planet San Francisco, because it was 2 blocks from where I was working. So all this stuff intertwined. I trained Muay Thai for about 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah, 8 years before, not competition training.
Right.
Let's make that clear.
To learn the art, the lifestyle, right?
Learn the art of 8 limbs. Learn from some guys that learned, directly from the Thai. There's many Thai teachers in the Bay Area. It's pretty saturated, which is a good thing. Very good Muay Thai in the Bay. And I just had the luxury of learning from, I feel like it's 3 different genres in Muay Thai. And when I found Jiu-Jitsu, it just all went out the window. It's like, this is what I want to do. I want to practice, killing people, controlled chaos.
What about it? That just blew your mind?
I can't really tell you. I really can't. I just started
that
training.
Somebody could control you and submit you, or like you tapping somebody out. I mean, probably not at the beginning, but.
Well, I think for me, it was, I wanted to become well-rounded.
Gotcha.
Because I had a little bit of
complete
judo.
martial artist.
Yes. During all this sort of span of time that I've just talked about, I was also doing Filipino martial art, eskrima, full contact stick fighting. And so I had weapons training, I had, striking, had a little bit of, judo, newaza, a little bit of mat work. It wasn't anything compared to, you know, even the first year of jiu-jitsu. It was way more newaza. And I just figured, and then capoeira. So I have, you know, kicks and off balance sort of angles and stuff. So I just felt like I was completely lacking in the ground game. And I started, and I'm here now, and that's like my life, you know, TACFIT, jiu-jitsu, and fitness, and my kids, my wife. And that's me in a nutshell right now.
That's amazing, man. Yeah. When we first met, I think you were, how many years did you train with Denny? Because then, is Denny still in San Fran, or did he move?
He is in San Fran, but he kind of went independent. He owns...
and you also moved to Oakland, right, during the pandemic time?
I did not move to Oakland.
But you stopped working in the city?
I stopped working in the city, yes. And then I started working in Oakland during the pandemic.
Gotcha.
Training, doing TACFIT very early in the morning. And from there, it just blossomed, you know, just really took off. A lot of people loved it. I already have two people certified that I took through the certifications. One's double certified, Coach Dylan and Chuck.
Representing.
I hope to have, you know, if and when I move, I hope to have, you know, at least 5 instructors there and a booming program, you know, hopefully affiliate, you know, TACFIT affiliate, work on that. 10 Planet Oakland just moved to a beautiful, probably 5 times as big location.
Wow.
A couple of blocks away.
And you guys have full-on TACFIT classes going on there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like Ninja.
Yep.
And Steel Maces and Club Bells.
We're working on the Steel Mace because I have to buy a bunch of equipment. And when the classes are small, I bring my my maces from home, and there's 3 maces at the gym. So if we got like 5-6 people, we can do Viking Ninja Steel Mace training. For the most part, our schedule Monday is flow fit, you know, kind of recover from the weekend, get everything started. And Wednesday we have club bell strength and conditioning. And then Saturday we do full TACFIT protocol. Usually the sort of global protocol that everybody's doing, all the TACFIT affiliates are doing around, you know, here at headquarters and, you know, in Berlin and
around the world.
Around the world, that's correct. That's one thing I really like about that aspect of the weekly protocols, that everybody's doing it. You see it all.
Your friend, I was going to ask you how you got into TACFIT. What, you know, how you got into TACFIT? And just give a shout out to your friend, right?
Oh yeah.
But also, what made you believe like this is the real deal?
Man, so such a deep question, you know. One of my friends showed me the club bell and showed me some movements, showed me some basic movements. And at that point, I was just getting into strong first and the unconventional style of training, getting away from conventional bodybuilding, you know, powerlifting, stuff like that. And so I pursued to learn more about the club bell, and the only thing I could find was CST. So I found the CST and found out it was under TACFIT umbrella, or vice versa. Whichever
circular strength training, right?
Yeah, circular strength training, or whichever way you want to.
Which is the base of TACFIT.
Absolutely.
The technology behind.
So I saw that logo, the TACFIT logo, and I said to myself, okay, I know one guy that does this. And he's a field instructor, Mark Sanchez.
Ah, okay.
And
so you found it online?
I found it online. And
what'd you see? A YouTube video, or what'd you see?
You know, I think I saw the trial by fire, the sort of teaser video for the trial by fire. And I immediately was in awe, you know, whoa, let's figure this out. I want to use these tools. That's immediately what I thought. I want these tools. I want these tools to work for me. Whatever way they can, I want to pull them closer. So I contacted my buddy, and he said, whoa, man, CST, that's going to be hard. And I said, hey, well, you don't know if you don't go, right? You know, just try. And that's the whole point. You know, you go and you learn and
challenge yourself.
Exactly. And the certification got canceled about
the Clubo one.
the CST.
CST one. That's right.
It got canceled. Scott was supposed to do the neuromapping, the CST, and then there was TACFIT, all in the same weekend. So I talked to one of the
here in LA.
Yep. Here
in Burbank. Yeah.
Legacy, Los Angeles, Burbank, California. I talked to one of the representatives at RMAX, and they said, well, you know, we're very sorry this is canceled. I think it was about a week out. And I had done the whole trial by fire component training for the 3 months, and I had my times exactly where I wanted, of course, without a lick of knowing what really good technique was, you know, because I didn't have any of the videos. I just had, you know, what my friend showed me and a little bit of stuff on YouTube. Because I just didn't know that it existed. I didn't know what it was called to be able to look for it and find what it was. But I did find some FlowFit videos from a past instructor that were pretty good examples. So I told my friend, hey, this thing got canceled.
Because there's a lot of random videos, right? Nonsense. You don't know who's good or what. You know who's kind of good, even if you don't know too much, right?
Exactly.
But there's like what is right, what is wrong, right?
Exactly. So my friend Mark Sanchez, he said, here, take a look at this video. This guy is a really good technique. You're gonna have to do this amount of, you know, FlowFit rounds for, you know, and this many, you know, you're gonna have to do this test. So do this, check this guy's technique out. And so I told him, hey, that part got canceled and I have to do TACFIT now. And I know not one thing about TACFIT. I was more focused on the club bells. I wanted those club bells. So he said, okay, well, I'm going to take you through a qual. and that was it. And as soon as he showed me his qual video that he passed, and then he took me through the qual, I said, wow, this has got so many levels to it. It's like a workout within a workout. Each one of the movements. It's a
masterpiece.
Each one of the
movements. If you really start breaking down the biomechanics and just everything about it, right?
Each one of the movements in the qual could be their own workouts, training for them, you know, getting the strategy for the time and the numbers of the reps and the technique and all that stuff. It blew my wig open, you know. So I took whatever notes from him and I just trained those movements. And like I was saying that I talked to, I think it was Nick over at RMAX, and he said, well, you know, very sorry that this has been canceled, but Alberto Galazzi is going to be here, and you can do TACFIT, or I could give you a refund. And I said, well, let's just do the TACFIT. I'm already all set up to go. Let's just go. Let's just go jump in. And I did. And that's when I met you, sitting right next to you inside of your gym. And I looked over at you and I said, hey, can you help me figure out my heart rate? And you're like, yeah. Boom, 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 boom. And I was like, okay, I feel inadequate now. But, and then I came up to you later after I was looking around. I was like, man, that was Alberto Crane that I asked for help. This is his gym. Like, you know, like, I couldn't believe it.
There supporting you guys.
Yeah. There, you were there in the class, and I think you even did the qual too. I think you did some of the workout. And
then Tim did it with you, right, as well? Tim Valdez?
Tim Valdez, yes. Yes, he did. I made friends with him and his brother and had great times. He's a great stand-up guy. And, you know, after I failed miserably in the qual and tried to soak up as much of that weekend, which was way overloaded of information and, you know, chicken scratches on the board and trying to take notes and video. I still have, you know, 10-minute long videos from my first cert here. I still have my first qual paper that I did. And the point from when I failed to all the training that I did to pass that qual was when I was like, this is like probably the most eloquent masterpiece of a system that I have ever came across. And I know that there's way more to it than I can even see right now. So at that point, I was just looking at the onion, you know, and I just cut off the very top, and I'm, you know, beginning to sort of peel those first layers back. And man, it's opened up so much and has exacerbated all this, you know, other stuff that I was thinking about fitness, and like it just helped weed all the stuff out that wasn't important, and just expanded on what is important. And it really, maybe it's judgmental, but maybe it's just me thinking in a TACFIT way that, like, you know, a lot of these things are suffering, you know, these systems are just suffering. They're just incomplete, you know?
Yeah, we talk a little bit how it's just the TACFIT's like a holistic, like CST TACFIT
Yep.
is the full thing, right?
Yes.
And everybody has like bits and pieces of it,
Yep.
but TACFIT encompasses everything.
Yep. And they're still trying to catch up, you know? It's like you see these, you know, systems, modalities kind of adding a little here, adding a little there, you know, mimicking here, mimicking there, you know, but, you know.
Scott was doing these things 25 years ago.
Exactly.
And he's still ahead.
Exactly. And, you know, there's something to say about that, you know, being way before your time, and then you got all these, you know, systems sort of, you know, coming
before
up.
us, the science proved it, right? Because we didn't have the technology, whatever imaging technology, whatever the technology we needed to see these, measure these things, right?
Absolutely.
But now it's proven. Now it's science, right?
I mean, and now we have the actual time that, you know, retroed to prove that, you know, and it's just amazing, you know, and like with the rebrand and, you know, all the newer stuff that's coming in under the umbrella, and, you know, I'm just happy to be a part of it, and happy to see it grow, and happy to have it help me grow, my clients grow, my family grow. You know, my daughters love working out with me in my garage, in my gym, and, you know, like they're doing TACFIT, you know, they're learning the movements, they're learning how to breathe, you know, and this is all, you know, to adolescent kids, you know, so I just can't wait to have it, you know, in my life.
Ingrained, yeah.
Yeah.
With your family and everybody, way of life.
Yep.
What are some of the things that started to happen within that started, like, did your body start to change? Did you start to think more clear? Did you feel yourself get like smarter, or I don't know?
All the above. You know, it's just, it
like you're sharper, like
it makes you, it made me just my awareness of my body, my breath, and
speaking of being intuitive, right?
Exactly, you know, and the type of body work that we do in the Morales method is a lot like Bruce Lee's philosophy. You know, you bring it into the system and use what works and discard the rest, you know, and it becomes a system, you know, it becomes what you're doing. So, you know, it's really hard to explain, but like everything from my situational awareness to my proprioceptive awareness on my own body internally and externally, you know, just concepts, like now I go through life strategizing, and these concepts of, you know, how to get things done more efficient, more easier, you know, less work, you know, it just bleeds into every aspect of my life.
Forgot who I was talking to, but just Scott talks about how you do one thing is how you do everything, right?
Right.
And because you connect your breath with the correct structure, like all of a sudden things just start to click. And how you do one thing, how you train, how you just follows into everything else that you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. And trying to instill that ability in others and watching them sort of grow with it as well is also an amazing thing to see as a coach, you know, where, you know, maybe you get clients that are just there to work out or just there to blow off steam. But when I've worked with people I call lifers, you know, over 5 years, you know, closer to, you know, 10 years of just working strictly with me through all my phases, and then seeing the most progress after I take them, you know, through specific TACFIT, TACFIT 26, you know, into flow, you know, decompression, compensation after every session. And I have one guy I've taken through, it's my second time taking him through TACFIT 26, you know, and just to see the progress just puts a smile on my face, and it just makes it, you know, that's just one little attribute that makes me think that it's all worth it, you know. It delivers.
How about jiu-jitsu? You know, like jiu-jitsu athletes. You know, you teach in TACFIT inside of 10th Planet,
Absolutely,
Oakland.
absolutely.
And what are some of the changes for yourself as well? Because I have my stories, right? Like, you know, like my body mechanics, my understanding of why I do these things, the whys behind. I started to understand why I do these things, why I open up somebody's elbows when I'm on the bottom, why I keep my elbows in, right? Because they're like, keep your elbows in, keep your. And then you start to understand the whys, and then you start to, you know, you learn the breath with the movement in TACFIT, and then you start to carry that over to jiu-jitsu,
Yep.
and you're like, man, you don't get tired, right? You know how to
Absolutely.
recover when your heart rate goes up.
Yes. You know, that's one of the main things that I kind of express when I get new people into my class at 10th Planet Oakland, is that there's a direct crossover between TACFIT and Jiu-Jitsu. And one of the examples that I use is the 4x1 in the protocol.
4x1,
because it's the closest amount of time that we could simulate a Jiu-Jitsu round, right? You know, you could go into a competition and burn yourself out in the first round, and then what? And then you get tapped, or, you know, you just smashed on bottom the whole time, or whatever the case may be. That 4x1, you can't blow it out in the first minute.
4x1's like 4 minutes of work, 1 minute of rest.
Absolutely.
And you go four rounds.
4 rounds. Yep. So it mimics a certain aspect of a jiu-jitsu round, because, I mean, obviously it could be high intensity, it could be very fast-paced, very explosive. But if you're playing, you know, on the ground, and it's going to teach you how to breathe and to withstand whatever positional, you know, area that you're in, and how to recover your breath, and then be able to explode and, you know, make a scramble, or whatever the situation may be. But direct crossover, direct correlation into that mental aspect of, you know, when you're in that 4x1 doing the exercise, and it's really challenging you to keep your, you know, your breath in line with your structure and your within your movement, so that your technique stays high, right? Same thing in jiu-jitsu. You know how to position yourself so that you can get your breath, so that you can set up for an explosive, you know, movement, a sweep, or whatever, what have you. But that's, you know, just one of the aspects that I sort of highlight when I'm talking to new people about it, and I take them through it, and they're like, man, you know, and seeing these guys from, I started February 2021. We were, you know, like everybody, we were speakeasy, and we were just in there every morning getting it done. And to watch these students progress, not only in TACFIT, but structurally, their posture. People, my professor, other people were saying, hey, man, these guys, you know,
They're walking up straighter. They look stronger, the way they carry themselves.
Exactly. You know, and I'm
Instead
like,
of being all hunched over, like a
yeah,
they're walking straight, they're walking proud, strong,
absolutely
healthy. They look healthy.
And you know what that did? That was a confidence booster as well, you know? And to see that, and to see them grow into instructors that, you know, help assist me and, you know, take classes and stuff too, sub classes, and just to see that, and then to also see them sort of start to really kill it, you know, in their progress in jiu-jitsu as well, you know? And, you know, you know, it's so fruitful, you know, this system, to everything it touches, it just makes it better, you know? And the really unfortunate and the unfortunate thing is that, like, people don't know they need it, you know, until they see it, they see something that appeals to them, they're like, okay, I'll try a class, and then boom, you know, they're hooked. Just like me when I started jiu-jitsu, you know, it's just takes one time, you know, and then that's it.
Yeah, I love jiu-jitsu, right? I think everybody should do it, but not everybody like wants to do it. It's not for everybody.
Absolutely not.
I used to think it was for everybody. It's not for everybody, but TACFIT is for everybody. Everybody can do it. Everybody should be doing those pieces, right?
Yep. They don't know that they need to.
Right,
you know?
right.
I always say this in a lot of I coin phrase it. I self-proclaimed coin phrase. It's for everybody and anybody. Everybody and anybody.
And anybody.
You know, because it's, you know, it's beautiful. It's a work of art. You can scale it. You know, you can
scale it, for what you need that on that day.
Exactly, and for that person and that person's ability that day. You know, whether it's a tech person coming in off of a 10-hour, you know,
stressed out,
or an elite athlete. You know, something for everybody. You know, but it's got to be earned. You know, it's got to be sort of, I call it the download phase. You know, you got to do everything. Download all the technique and all the very fine details, and
gotta go do it. Gotta do the work, right?
Get the work done.
Show up and do the work.
Show up.
Download.
Yep. Download and then sharpen that blade. You know, that's all you're doing the rest of the time, just refining, sharpening, polishing, and then a lot happens in between. You know.
Well, congratulations, man, on
thank you.
Just going all in from that first. From learning about it to that first cert that, you know, should have been, but you shift gears, and then it's interesting, right? How people find the system and how it clicks, right?
Absolutely. It's a specialized system, and, you know, I felt like I'm a specialized bodyworker. I'm a specialized, you know, fitness coach.
And also through the pandemic, right? Because you did a lot of the training in your garage, right?
Absolutely. That's
through Zoom, and it's crazy, the crazy times.
Yeah. I was coming to the Legacy TACFIT classes too on Zoom with Coach Bob and you as well. So, you know, like, you know, I was very fortunate enough to be able to have that privilege. Yeah. And to see how classes were ran by you and by Bob. And, you know, that's how I got the understanding of how to run a class. And then from there, it's just like, okay,
I can do this.
Even deeper into it, because I know I can do this, but I want to lead, you know, I want to lead by a great example of technique and understanding of the system. And, you know, I just haven't looked back, you know. It's just, I love it, you know, and
now you're coming in on the educational team side, right?
Yes.
I'm proud to see, you know, like helping others, right?
Yeah, you know,
and also coming in on the subscription side too, right?
Yeah.
With the bigger picture things.
Yeah, you know, I love doing it. You know, that's the end. That's the absolute. You know, that's it. You know, I love doing it. You know, with a kid and, you know, full-time dad, 2 kids and full-time dad, and, you know, I work specific hours when my wife and kids are sleeping or when they have the day off, which is, you know, a couple days a week. So during those times, I'm cramming, you know, all the work that I have to do, which includes content, you know, and I love to do it. Something about it, I love it. You know, I love executing it, and if I see it, I don't like it, I do it again. You know, it's not.
Watch yourself on video, like the process of doing the stuff on Zoom, having to watch your video and making sure the quality of the movement's perfect.
Absolutely.
Technique's perfect.
If people are going to be watching me and trying to mimic what I'm doing, I want to be the best example, you know, that I can provide. And I haven't even checked out the subscription. I haven't seen myself yet, but I, you know, have to review all my tapes, my videos before I submit them for approval. And, you know, it's a sacrifice, you know, it's a sacrifice to, you know, do what I can do in my spare time that I don't have a lot of, but I love to do it, and it fits perfectly. You know, I'm very blessed to have a schedule that things fit so perfectly that I can execute, you know. And
you're getting up like really early, right? So you start your day.
Yeah.
Before everybody gets up.
My TACFIT class in Oakland starts at 6 a.m. 2 days a week. I teach TACFIT for an hour, and then I teach fundamental jiu-jitsu for the next hour.
But you also you're shooting or doing your training early in the morning, right? Before like your day started?
Yeah, so if every day is different based on my wife's work schedule, when the kids wake up, you know, sometimes they like to throw wrenches in your plans. They don't nap as long, or, you know, I do a lot of videoing while they're napping.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I
make it work.
Try to bank on like a solid hour to get, you know, all the sequential videos that I need to get done for the subscription. And, you know, sometimes I gotta wait till they go to bed to to get those done because, you know, space and noise and stuff, I want to make sure that it's perfect for the subscription users, you know, no crazy background noises and stuff. So yeah, early morning, late at night, or when no one's awake, you know, either way. And so I just make it happen, you know, I love it, you know, and I know what it stands for, and I know it helps people, and I know that these people doing the subscription channel, they're doing it for a reason, you know, and I want to be there for them, you know, obliged, you know, happy to oblige to be, you know, on this leg of their journey through TACFIT, you know, even if it is virtual.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate all your work and appreciate your friendship. You know, we always have fun when we're together. You know,
absolutely.
Over like the years now, and I lose track of the years with the pandemic years. You know,
yep.
But it's always fun. I'm so glad you made it down.
Yes, sir.
That's a big sacrifice with the family and everything else.
It's always one of those sacrifices that's 100% worth it, you know. And I always have the best time coming here. I love it, you know. So thank you for having me and having me on the show.
Yeah, man. What you have any goals that just one goals, things that you wanna accomplish within the system?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to be here for people. I want to help people lead people to, you know, the point that I am. You know, wherever that takes me, that's you know, that's where I want to go. You know, titles. You know, there's a team leader title that, you know, I could be moving toward. You know, as a goal, which it is. But you know, I always say, man, like, I'm here because I love it. You know, and if what I'm doing is going to carry me that way, then let's go. You know, and I'll do the best of my ability. If, you know, I get to wherever I'm going, and if, you know, if I get to go further, then I get to go further. If I'm, you know, happy where I'm at, if I need to take a step back, you know, because I'm going to have a third kid too. So, but somehow, some way, you know, I always figure out a way to get things done and you know, just be there, you know, and that's what I want. That's my goal, is to be here, you know, regardless of where, you know, whatever position that puts me in. I want to be here. I want to come here training, you know, TACFIT, Jiu-Jitsu vacation here to Burbank, Legacy, Los Angeles, you know, to get my Jiu-Jitsu training and get my TACFIT training, TACFIT education, you know, and that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm just doing it until there's, you know, there's always going to be stuff to learn, and there's always going to be training to be had, you know, so if I can help pull more people in and, you know, help educate them, that's what I'm here for, you know. If it's chosen that I'm setting an example for that to happen, then that's what I'm here for. You know, I'm here to learn and, you know, to help and to lead.
Amazing. So, thank you.
Sir.
How can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram, Facebook. My handle is Hapa-san with 3 A's, 10P. Hapa-san with 3 A's and 10P. And then I also have the TACFIT SF Bay Area _SF _Bay Area, which is sort of a global territory. It's just an Instagram handle because I live in Daly City. I used to work in San Francisco. I still do a little bit of outdoor work in San Francisco. And then, of course, at 10th Planet Oakland. So I'm kind of covering 3 of the major Bay Area cities. So that's where they can find me on Instagram. Facebook is the same. So that's pretty much it.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll let you get down to training jiu-jitsu.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Thank
and look forward to an awesome weekend together.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
for
brother.
having me.